Hey guys, Brian delivered you the goods here on YouTube. Just returning to you for a basic Wednesday versus video. I was supposed to do this Wednesday versus video last Wednesday, but I completely forgot. I just had a brain fog or whatever, and I just completely forgot about this season 3 episode 8, and there will be another Wednesday versus video. Probably recorded tomorrow night, or something like that, I don't know. But still, this is for Chris Brown versus The Weeknd that I wanted to do a Wednesday versus video for. So I'm going to discuss what I'm going to be talking about in this new Wednesday versus video for Season 3, Episode 8, and let you know who I deem to be the winner in this case. So let's dive right into this special video now. In this case, I think we all know who the winner is going to be because I am not a Chris Brown fan anymore. I used to be. Like, from albums 1 to, I think when it got to, like, Fortune and X, after that, he kind of went downhill with Royalty wasn't bad, but it wasn't my favorite album. But there were some sexualized lyrics for majority of his albums. I think he got way more sexualized with his lyrics. I think starting with the Fame album, but it wasn't fully utilized with his sexualized lyrics, his nasty lyrics. That's why I call him Chris Booty nowadays, because he just makes up filthy lyrics and it's just disgusting. It doesn't sound like good music anymore, and it does not sound like something that I would enjoy. So basically, Chris Brown sucks now. He used to be good. Now he sucks. From the first and second album, that was his best. Third album was pretty good. There was the third album was pretty good too. So I wouldn't say everything was great for the third album, but it was Graffiti was something interesting. Fame was not bad. Fortune had some moments where it was not terrible, but there were some hit or miss tracks from that record. And then X comes, and that was one of his most personal records, in a sense. I think towards the end of the record, it got really emotional with some of his lyrics. I mean, Body Shots was the worst fucking track. I don't like that track anymore. I just outgrew it. Personally, I've kind of matured mentally to know that it's not a great track. And there was Drunk Texting that was, it was fine, but not great. But still, after that, he did his seventh album, Royalty, and then it was his 8th album, Heartbreak on a Full Moon. And that was probably the last tolerable record I enjoyed from Chris Brown. Then comes the second to before this new album, 11/11. 11/11 is one of the worst. What is it? There's Heartbreak on a Full Moon, Indigo, and the 10th album, Breezy, which came out in 2022, which was crap. And then maybe a few months, almost a year and a half, he released the next record, 11/11, his 11th studio album, which is awful. And so is Breezy. Breezy wasn't as bad as this new one, but still was pretty crappy. So basically, overall, I think Chris Brown is not great as an artist anymore. He had a good start, but then he went downhill with the sexualized lyrics and relied on it too much, and it became a repetitive cycle of cringe and garbage with his music, and his rapping stuff has kind of made him sell out a bit, in a sense. So he wouldn't be the winner in this case, and I think you know who the winner is going to be, in my opinion. It will be The Weeknd, because I like his discography. His discography is pretty straightforward. I mean, there's some sexualized lyrics, but he makes it execute in a better way. Chris Brown doesn't do that. He makes it execute in the worst way, while The Weeknd does it in a better way. And that's why I wanted to match these two up, in my opinion, to give you my take on it. Because, one, I like The Weeknd a lot. His first album, Kissland, was really interesting of a record. I mean, there were some sexualized lyrics for some of it, but it didn't matter because he made it execute in a good way. Most of the tracks were hits on his first debut album. Then comes Beauty Behind the Madness, which was a great record, by the way. Really good album. I really enjoyed that record. I mean, there were some hits and misses. Often was not my... It wasn't a bad song, but it wasn't my favorite. And Earned It was pretty good. I like Shame. Shameless, I think it was called. And then In the Night was my favorite from that album. Angel was the best song to end the record. I mean, track 13, Prisoner, featuring Lana Del Rey, wasn't terrible, but wasn't my favorite cup of tea. So it wasn't my all-time favorite song. But still, the record impressed me. Beauty Behind the Madness. For all 14 tracks, it was straightforward, and the album was executing in a good way. So, great record from 2015. I Can't Feel My Face was great. Dark Times was actually pretty good. And there was some other tracks that I really was invested in, but Angel was the best track to close the record. Then comes Starboy, which was an interesting record. It was more experimental, but there were some tracks that were pretty much hits and a few misses. But overall, I think the track, All I Know, was not bad, but Future's rapping was a hit or miss. It was a solid track, but not my favorite. Die For You is the best song. I Feel It Coming was great. Starboy is the best song on the record, and so is Party Monster. And False Alarm was pretty good in my opinion, but I know a lot of people thought it was too electronic and a little noisy, and in a weird way, not the best way. Reminder was great. Rockin' was pretty good, even though there was some weird electronic work in it. Secrets was my favorite. It was a little different, but it was a really good one. And, what is it? There's some other tracks I did enjoy. But yeah, basically, I just got a comment recently from a friend. So, overall, in this particular sense, this is probably going to be a little lengthy of a Wednesday versus video, just so you know. But still, The Weeknd will be the winner, because After Hours was a great record, and so was the last album he made, his 5th studio album. Believe it was Dawn FM, and I enjoyed that record, in my opinion. Sure, some people thought it was a snooze fest, but overall, I think The Weeknd's trying something different with his music, with 80s pop, and it's working and executing very well. You had hits like Blinding Lights, you had Save Your Tears, the title track After Hours, Alone Again was my favorite, and there were some other tracks that were pretty good. Heartless was not my favorite, but there were some pretty good songs like Faith that was really interesting. So overall, The Weeknd is going to be the winner in this case, in my opinion. I hope you enjoyed this Wednesday Versus video. Chris Brown, I'm sorry, he lost. He's not as good, in my opinion, as he used to be. And I think he needs to give it up, because he's going into this repetitious cycle of cringy lyrics, weird trap beats, and also his rapping is not executing very well. And just his verses are crap when he sings, or the way he's going about the tracks. It's not performing very well. So The Weeknd will be the winner in this pretty lengthy Wednesday versus video. Hopefully you enjoyed this Wednesday versus video. I had a lot to talk about with this one because it was two artists that one I used to like, and two, the other one is my favorite. So basically, The Weeknd is the winner, and I hope you enjoyed Season 3, Episode 8 for Wednesday versus video. I'll have the next one being recorded soon, but it will be premiered at a later time. But until then, thanks for watching.